So last Tuesday, Erin and I went to the theatre.
The Dunamaze Arts Centre in Portlaoise.
Because we're dead cultured.
Yeah, and the Dunamaze is very good. Please go.
The scene of our first date.
Yeah.
Some might say.
Well, everyone would say that, because that's where we went on our first date.
And we're not counting that.
Dinner beforehand.
I was saying that time in Abbey Leaks.
No, that's not a date.
We went to the Dunamaze Art Theatre to see, I wouldn't call it a play, stage performance?
A stage performance, yeah.
Stage performance of Paddy Cullivan's I Can't Believe It's Not Ireland.
Mm-hmm. Louis had previously gone to one of his shows last month?
The Death of Michael Collins. Very good.
Was it last month?
Probably. I think so.
I didn't go to that one because I'm not cultured.
You were off. You were out somewhere.
Yeah, I was doing something.
You're probably seeing your other boyfriend.
But Louis knows Paddy. He's a family friend, isn't he?
Well, my dad taught him in NCAD.
Okay.
And then...
No, for anyone that doesn't... I know, don't call it NCAD, it's NCAD. But anyway.
National College of Alcohol and Drugs. Paddy went on to perform in the house band for the Late Late for many years.
Yeah.
And now he does his own private gigs, weddings.
He has a band, I can't remember the name of them.
Camembert Quartet.
Yeah, tell the camera, not me.
The Camembert Quartet. Go to www.paddycullivan.com for bookings. This is just like...
This is a sponsor post for Paddy.
Is that right, Paddy? Happy with that? So, first segment, plot in 60 seconds.
You're going to have to do it because I can't. And I can't do a timer because I've already got a timer on.
But you can...
Put a second timer on.
Is that counting down?
Yeah.
Well, when it gets to 7, I could just do it then.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Oh,
Ooh.
rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Ah!
You go first.
Oh, thanks, babe.
We're not both doing it. I'm not smart enough to do this.
The look of panic in your eyes.
I know. Plan in 60 seconds, go.
The year is 2032. Ireland have voted to combine the North and the South 2 years previous in a referendum. Paddy Cullivan is giving us a stage show. The first half of the show, he talks about the history of why we're divided and why we should be united as a united Ireland. That is the first hour, maybe hour and a bit, of the show.
You're right.
Halfway there. Then there's a 15-minute interval. And then for the second half of the show, Paddy thrashes out all the finer details and keeps us updated as to how Ireland is such a prosperous country when we unite and we focus on what we have in common and stop focusing on the minor differences.
Oh, 10 seconds to spare.
Would you say that was good?
I said that was quite good, yeah.
Yeah, pretty happy with that one.
I was happy with that, yeah. That I definitely wouldn't have been able to do that.
I think you should try one.
Okay.
Go.
So Paddy starts the show by showing us what Ireland could be if the North and South came together. He then goes on to the history of Ireland and how everyone's shouting about, let's do a connection, let's connect together, let's be getting 6 counties back, but how we're actually not prepared for getting the 6 counties back, and how we actually have a lot more in common with the people in the North than the people in the South. The people in the South, he's saying, are begrudging of the people of the North. They don't want to give up anything. And really, if we want people to join us, that we should be able to compromise on things. So it's really the South's fault that we don't have the 6 counties rather than the North's fault. So then we had a 15-minute interval, and then he goes on to show what he believes could be a solution to the problems that we have. He goes through what our national anthem could be, a flag, and how we could actually join together and be peaceful as one, as a new state rather than the state of Ireland.
I hate you so much.
Why?
I think you did a better version than me.
That was pretty good.
Yeah, I'm glad.
Yeah, it's calm, cool, and collected, like a cucumber. I realised going into this though that like I actually knew nothing about Ireland. I'm like, I'm fucked. I was like, I actually have no idea about any of this stuff.
But Paddy is amazing. Like the level of research he does. But
I don't know how he has the time.
Well, he says how he has the time. Lockdown, baby. He wrote like 4 shows in lockdown.
Still, I'm like, he was very productive with his lockdown time.
Yeah, I think he's obviously very obsessive as well. But just the level of research and the level of detail, but then to retain it and then to sculpt it into like an entertaining show that it wasn't just like a history lesson.
Yes, and then as well, like he's very, like he kind of gets you to look at it as a different way than you're probably used to looking at. Like that whole thing about like, it's actually the reason the North aren't like amalgamated with the South is because the South like have the big problem. I was like, God, I've never thought about it like that. He's like,
Yeah.
people just have an empty thing of get the 6 counties back and blah blah. He said, but what are we actually offering them? He's like, why would they want to join? And I was like, I've actually never thought of it like that.
And
He's so intelligent.
but he and all the research he does, like he finds the surveys that have been run, and it said just comparing everything. We basically want to take everything, but won't compromise on anything. Won't meet them halfway at all.
Yeah.
They basically want to absolve Northern Ireland into the Republic, and then they just become part of us.
Yeah.
Instead of us being, oh, we can do this, we
Open.
can do this, and we don't maybe recognize what they could offer us.
Hugely.
But also, yeah, the big thing, everyone's like, who's going to pay for that? Who's going to pay for that?
Yeah.
But he said I'm not his biggest fan, but Leo Varadkar said, money shouldn't be in this conversation.
Yeah.
It should be about patriotism.
Yeah.
About rejoining your country.
Mm-hmm.
Your fellow countrymen.
Yeah.
And I like the story. It was based on a real story. When he went up north and he had the taxi man, black cab taxi driver, Ken Dodd the Prod.
Yeah.
And he said it was Paddy's first time to go to Northern Ireland, and Ken Dodd proudly said, "Well, I've never been to the Republic."
Mm.
And then we catch up with Ken Dodd in the year 2032 when he comes down to the Republic, and it just pointed out all the like everything in Dublin has the Royal College,
Yeah.
the Royal Hibernian.
Yeah.
We're just obsessed. Well,
Irish people are obsessed with the royal family, and they're obsessed with being under people, under someone. They have to be under
slave mentality.
Yeah, that's what you said, slave mentality. You said that before we saw the show, and then it was big about that, like that we have to be under. We don't know what to do if we had freedom. Like we actually wouldn't know what to do. Like, well, we do. We just swapped like the English rule for the rule of the banks and the rule of
with the Vikings, then the Brits.
Yeah,
800 years, lest we forget. Then we had independence for a wet week. We handed over to the Catholic Church.
Yeah,
because I was like, how did priests go from on the run, have to say mass in ditches, to then being in charge of the country?
Yeah.
And I heard someone saying that like we were afraid to have our own independence, to be in charge of ourselves.
Yeah.
And the Catholic Church were only happy to take control of it.
Yeah.
They were like, yeah, of course, we'll take over it. So then in the last few years, we've kind of give them the boo.
Yeah.
And now we handed it all over to the banks.
Mm-hmm.
And we're paying for fucking, anyway.
It's a different, it's all part of the conversation, but we'll be here all day.
Slave mentality, the Irish.
Yeah.
Afraid of our own freedom. And you have to do a job you hate all your life.
Mm-hmm.
And then retire and live for 3 years and die. Yeah. And that's the Irish way, and have as many kids as you can.
Yeah. Not so much anymore, I wouldn't say, though, but anyway.
Yeah, how did I get onto that? So, Ken Dodd the Broad. Yeah, and like Paddy said, I find that, like, people are obsessed with the royal family over here.
Yeah.
I genuinely couldn't name them.
Like, I could.
I couldn't. I don't know who they all are.
Yeah, but not all of them, like.
Some people do.
Yeah.
Who's the good-looking one that everyone says, the ginger fella?
Harry.
That's Harry.
Yeah.
Who's his brother?
William.
Bill.
William is married to Kay. Harry's married Meghan Markle. A lot of people in the north do want to do want to join into Ireland. And like say that in the show we went to see, Paddy made a very good point of that. Like, you know, people in the north, they kind of, some of them feel like they don't belong to Britain, but they don't belong to Ireland either. So they're in this kind of in between. Yeah. You know, like they have pounds and stuff, but it's completely different pounds that they have in England. And a lot of it kind of stemmed from, it kind of stemmed from not really religion. They kind of just, Ireland used to be.
Well, I think they used religion as an excuse to pin us against each other.
Yeah.
Because they were afraid that we'd corroborate.
So like back in the day, obviously Ireland is a predominantly Catholic country, but then as the show went on over the day, they kind of were like, Paddy was very able to point out how many people were Protestants. There's a big Catholic versus Protestants thing that, like as you said, people still use that as a crutch to talk about hatred and stuff like that. But it's not a big fucking deal. Like.
But as well, like people aren't practicing anymore.
No.
Like, even I haven't been going to church.
Yeah.
When you were saying about the 6 counties, so they said when Ireland got its when we were going for our independence, when they said the border came up, was it 1919?
Yeah.
They said it just came up overnight.
Mhm.
Britain just put up a border because they knew we were going to get home rule, going to get our own independence.
Mhm.
So they were like, we're taking these 6 counties. And then he said, why didn't they take all of Ulster?
Yeah.
So the thing was, it would have been close to 50-50 Catholic and Protestants
Yeah.
if they'd taken Ulster. And as Paddy put it, we know how quick those dirty Catholics reproduce. So Britain would have been outnumbered after
Yeah.
a few generations.
Yeah.
So I found that an interesting point. They literally just put up a border overnight, and that led to one of the highlights of the play for me, the partition song. I
Yeah.
just remember, like, when he goes explaining how partitions in countries never work, from like Pakistan to India, and it's on YouTube. Oh, I can put a link.
Click the link.
Click. Well, actually, don't click the link after you've watched this.
Yes.
I'll put the link in the bio,
Yeah.
the description.
Yeah.
The partition song, that was the best song for me.
Yeah. Same.
Oh, and then he told a story, like you said, about the currency, about a fella that was
Pendads.
no, it was proud Brit, Northern Irishman, but considered himself British, and he's a Protestant as well. Went over to London
Mhm.
with his British pounds and went to pay in the pub for a pint, and it got refused because Northern Ireland have their own currency.
Yeah. Even though it's
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 is it
Northern Irish
pounds?
pounds. It's not. But even when we were so to go back again, sorry for going back and forth. I'm just thinking if people don't know like the stuff
From Billy to Jack.
Yeah, from Billy to Jack. If people don't know, Ireland used to have pounds. This was before it joined the EU. But like there were Irish pounds. So there's Irish pounds, there was Irish pounds, there was Northern Irish pounds,
Punt.
and then there's British pounds. And you can't use them in the same like,
But I think Scotland and Wales, did they have their own?
I don't know.
Because I heard it was like a ploy by Tourism Northern Ireland. So you can spend an English currency there, and they'll give you back Northern Irish currency that you can only spend there. And apparently a lot of banks won't change it. So you have to spend it there
Interesting.
to get you to stimulate their economy.
Fun fact, this is completely off topic, but you can apparently spend pounds in TK Maxx instead of Ireland.
The Republic?
Yeah.
The Republic. South of Ireland.
Look. There's too many names. I just can't. Let's just all join together.
Like
and have a name.
Ireland.
And I just can't. South of Ireland, because I hear South of Ireland and I hear Republic of Ireland, and then I'm like, anyway.
Yeah, and then like you said, people want the 6 counties back.
Oh yeah, they will be on tabletops roaring rebel tunes about getting 6 counties back.
And then we're voting Fianna Gael and Fianna Fáil.
Yes. And then like being like, oh, dirty prods. And I'm like, you can't.
You know who you are.
Yeah, you do. And like you can't be turning around going, I want the 6 counties back, and then being like, oh, them dirty British, them dirty prods. I'm like, we're all the same, like, really. It just we happen to have been born down here.
I read Brendan Behan's Borstal Boy, and he is about a teenager that gets arrested for running guns or running explosives for their and he gets put into the prison, and he kind of gets on with one of the prison officers. But the prison officer says, he goes, the problem with you guys is you can't even name the 6 counties you're fighting for.
Honest to God.
Like, I think there's a lot of disgruntled youth up there, and the are only more than happy to be like,
oh yeah, take that. Yeah.
Right.
But I feel like people in the north know more about it though than the people in the south that are singing the rebel tunes. Do you know what I mean though?
Yeah. So then, yes, that man went to he went to London to try and spend
his Northern Irish money.
Yeah, and they said, "Fuck off, Paddy. Back to Ireland with your fucking Monopoly money."
Yeah.
And that man grew up to be James Nesbitt.
Yeah.
James Nesbitt, who, like I said, Brit, Protestant, and He was the lead in Sunday Bloody Sunday.
Yeah.
I thought that was very...
Mm-hmm.
This is very commendable decision to do.
Yeah.
I like him.
Yeah.
It's one of the good ones. Yeah, so we went through all the history, and he...
So good. His knowledge of Ireland is amazing. Unbelievable. We're talking about Paddy. It's unbelievable.
Like, it's a very engaged watch.
Oh, I was like, I have to take notes. I genuinely, I don't follow him on social media or anything like that, but I'm going to start looking at him because I'm like, this is actually give you such a thorough and very, not diplomatic. He's not one way or the other. He's just very, but this impartial. He's very, this is the information, like, this is facts. He's not like, even if he called, like, I don't know, I'm sure he is a proud Irishman. I don't know.
Yeah.
But, like, it's very much, it's not one side or the other. It's very much, well, these are the facts. Do you
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like, you need to be partial to this stuff. Like, anyway, very interesting.
But, like, just the level of information, especially with the history side of it, like, is a very engaged watch. Like, I wouldn't go and see it if you were tired.
Oh, God, no.
Yeah. And what I liked as well, to keep you engaged, the chapter changes. Each chapter changed.
Oh, yes.
So it'd be like the title of the next chapter, and he said, and I need the audience to take part. You go, dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, I like that.
So if you were drifting, I'd say that would bring you back in the room.
I really like that.
If you missed that section, maybe you'd be able to be like, oh,
yeah,
okay. Very fact heavy. Like, I went to see the death of Michael Collins.
Yeah.
And he was dispelling about the assassination of Michael Collins as well. And he put up a picture on the screen, and he said, these are the 26 books that talk about the assassination of Michael Collins.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, don't worry, you don't have to read them. Because I did. Like, he will go through that level of research, but then to analyse it and cross-examine. I just find that amazing. But then, like I said, to retain all that information. Like, he didn't have any notes.
No, not at all.
Clicker.
With a thing at the back, like,
crazy. Yeah, and it's not like he was referring to the slide and reading it to jog his memory.
No, the pictures. And he wasn't even looking at it half the time. He just
That's what
like,
I mean, yeah.
Behind him, he just
knew
clicking.
It all,
and it was just like he was getting his cues. It was like, da, 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 da. It was just a hammering his point, like, and it was just...
Yeah.
That's what a presentation's meant to be.
Yeah, but...
Not meant to be reading off.
Oh, but, yeah. But...
Who else did he say he dispelled that they were found in their jail cell, like, saying they were like, oh, I dispelled that he committed suicide. Who was that as well?
Epstein?
No, it was someone in Irish history.
Oh. Oh, Wolftone. Was it Wolftone?
Wolftone!
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Paddy's also a criminal investigator.
Yeah.
For Irish history.
Yeah. Well, he's got... Yeah, I think at the end we'll say about what he's got. What he's playing EP.
Is he? I don't know. Is that confirmed?
Yeah.
Are you allowed to say that out loud?
It's on his...
Instagram?
It's on his tour dates.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. Big announcement for EP.
Because
Brilliant,
but it's one of the ones I haven't seen. Like, he's doing... Like, it'd be a commitment.
Yeah.
Be like 2 hours. Or it might... I don't know.
Yeah, it'd be nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
So then that was the first. He said, for the first half, I have to give you all the context, just so we can talk about the second half. Because, like you said, a lot of Irish people don't know their history. But yeah, sorry, that was the point that we skimmed over. Our obsession with the royals in this family, in this country. Like, honestly, I couldn't name them, like I said. But I know people that are obsessed with them. And he said about his own grandmother, he said in the 80s, bought Hello magazine just to read about
Diana.
And Charles.
I know the names. I'm not obsessed with them, though. But
well, I wouldn't... Like, I know Diana, obviously, but...
Yeah.
I wouldn't confidently have said Charles.
Oh, okay.
I would have been 60-40.
Yeah. It's not that I like the royal family, but I just think it's very interesting dynamic. I find it like...
You love goss.
I love goss, basically. But then Paddy pointed out, he was like, most countries in Europe have royal families and we don't give a shit about that.
Yeah, we just don't like the British.
We just don't like the British royal family.
So then we go to the interval.
Mm-hmm. Went to the toilet.
Yeah, I went to the Gary Lear.
Mm-hmm.
Paddy, ever the salesman.
Yeah, set of cups.
ABC, always be closing.
Mm-hmm.
Had a merch stand.
Yeah.
So I was there chatting to him because friend of the channel. Get him on next time.
Yeah.
But there was a guy there as well who was a lot more into history than we were.
I was sitting there staring at him and all as well. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, I think he came from Limerick.
He did.
And
But he said he's from Limerick. I don't know if he...
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I don't know if... Yeah, I know.
He's been Oh, that was the point I wanted to get in as well. Paddy got in the first half when he was talking about the plantations of it and everything. He had some dig and he said, oh yeah, but of course you guys weren't leash back then, were you? Or something to them effects. Which I don't think everyone in the audience would have known that. The leash used to be Queen's County.
Yeah.
And Offaly was King's County. And
Yeah. Poor Leash used to be Maryborough. But that's still around the place.
yeah, but was it Queen Mary?
Yeah, that's where it's from, yeah.
So I thought that was a nice little dig, and I mentioned that to Paddy at half time. He got a chuckle out of it. But then, like I said, that guy that was itchy nose. That guy that was a lot more into history than we were. He was saying, Paddy, people are always saying we need to have a conversation, but we're not tackling issues in conversation. What's the currency going to be? What'll be the national anthem? What's the flag? Where's the capital city?
And Paddy...
Yeah, he said, all will be revealed.
In part 2.
Yeah.
And he basically did answer all them questions in part 2.
Well, in fairness, he came out guns blazing. He went for the major issue first. Which tale?
Which tale? And look, I'm not trying to start any wars. But the North tale... No.
Why?
Irish tale. All the way.
They're the same.
Oh, they taste the same. It's the icon.
It's
Put
the
pictures here.
Tale Man.
And please vote on which... If you know what the Tale Man looks like, please vote on which one is the best. But I do think, like, the Southern Tale... The Republic Tale Man is way better looking than the Northern Tale Man.
He's not...
I feel like Republic Tale, like, he's got a personality. I feel like Northern Potatoes like a bit of a spud. He doesn't look like he has... He's rather spitting everywhere. He's just got no brain, I don't think. And not in a bad way, but I just feel like they've drawn him like he's a bit harmless or something.
I think he looks very much like an Orange Man.
You can't say that.
Why? Orange Man's not...
Isn't it? I feel like it's a bit offensive. No?
I think Orange Men are proudly an Orange Man.
Oh, okay, fair.
And I'm going to throw some wild accusations as well. Looks kind of like a sex offender.
You just know you can't say that really because there's no...
What?
General.
What?
Look a bit sex
But
offender.
if rumours came out about the Northern Irish Tale Man, would you be surprised?
I don't know. But...
You're so diplomatic.
But I will say, I do agree with Paddy. Republic Tale Man, better. Northern Tale Place, savage.
What?
Remember their offices are in a castle?
Oh, are they? Yeah. Yeah,
He's
yeah.
in the show!
Yeah.
So, like, if you're going to be changing it out, we take the Republic Tale Man, but we put the factory up in the north. Or the Northern Tale land. Like, I know we have Tale Park, but I think they also have Tale Park.
We don't have Tale Park anymore.
No, it's Emerald.
Emerald Park.
But I think we gotta go to the castle. Castles just make everything fucking 10 times cooler.
Yeah.
Enya lives in a castle, so, like, obviously.
Yeah, and he was saying that about, like, a lot of the castles we have down here are not made for purpose. Like, he said Leinster House. He said it's awful. It's like an Irish hotel. So where they've just added and added and added.
Yeah.
So, like, upstairs, downstairs.
But they respect them up the north.
The castles.
Yeah.
Because Cromwell came and blew them all up.
Oh.
Down here.
Yeah.
To hell or to Connacht. So he said that everyone, well, he said in the Republic, he said that was like the falling down point in Belfast when he did the show. They were like, no, you can't change our title.
Yeah, gas, how those are the things that they people...
Yeah, that'd be
ridiculous, like.
that'd be the things we focus on.
Yeah.
He said new capital city. He said Portlaoise was in the mix. But
it's going to be...
I knew.
Yeah.
Because that's the bang in the middle.
Athlone.
Athlone.
Yeah, so Paddy went around and he used a bit of AI to come up with new 2032 utopian Ireland, for the moment, Ireland, would be. So if we did get those 6 counties, he's living in a world where we've agreed and all voted to...
There's been a referendum in 2030.
Yeah.
And it's 2032, so it's 2 years on.
Yeah. So yeah, so Athlone is the capital, because it's in the middle.
Yeah, bang in the middle.
Yeah.
He said about, because their Houses of Parliament is Stormont.
Yeah.
Which is beautiful. But he said, come on, you're not going to get lads from Cork
to go up.
Going all the way up there. So they think Northern Ireland starts in South Tipperary.
Yeah.
I like that. Like it was comedic throughout as well.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll say. So yeah, Athlone centre, dead in the middle, and he said have a rail system that like a spider that comes out of it and then goes around the whole the coastline.
Because the rail systems in Ireland used to be really good, and then they closed a bunch of them.
I think they were better. I still think everything was based on Dublin.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's more to Ireland than Dublin, obviously.
But it's like you have to go to Dublin to come back.
Yeah.
There should be a central, like Athlone, where everything comes out of.
Yeah.
Or Portlaoise.
And then he said there'd be a high-speed train.
Yeah.
That would go the perimeter, and you could get from like, what did you say, Galway to Belfast in 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Class.
But
I was sitting there and I was like, I'm all for this.
But why can't they have, like they've got bullet trains in Japan?
It's easier for people to commute to London on the plane every day than it is to travel from Galway to Dublin.
Yeah, 100%.
It's crazy. It takes you 2 hours to get from Galway to Dublin, but it takes you 40 minutes to get from
Is it only
London.
2 hours? It's only
2.5 hours-ish.
Yeah.
On the train though.
But
they only run every couple of hours, so if you miss one, you're in bits, like.
I remember someone saying that. It was like, how come the rail system in Ireland is the same amount of time as if you drive? Just no incentive.
No. Incentive.
Go on about Irish Rail.
Yeah.
And we might.
At another time. Yeah, so then he went into like the flag. What the flag would be. He hates the Irish flag.
I think it's a bit flat. Honestly.
Yeah.
It's basic.
But also.
Go on.
Green, white and orange, green, white and gold.
Yeah.
What's it meant to be?
The peace between Catholics and Protestants.
But we don't have that. When you think about it,
that's
they still, like, the 6 counties, they're still not, you know what I mean? So that only makes sense, really. Anyway.
Well, what was it? I heard different versions of it as well. Green for the pastures, orange for, so to say gold, so for wealth and prosperity, and white is for peace.
Okay.
But I still think it's I think a lot of flags are though, really. Is it how many? But so Paddy has a graphic design background, taught by my daddy. So he redesigned the flag, and he said Ireland's traditional colours are actually blue. And he had the harp with her titties out.
Yeah, love that.
Again, the blue.
Yeah. And I love that it's a woman on it, because there's like so many strong women through Irish history and Irish culture, and I love that it's a woman represented.
Yeah, so Bridget and the girls. So we've got a new flag, got a new capital city, got high-speed rail.
Do we talk about currency?
Well, if they join the EU.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which he said a lot of them wanted.
To join the EU?
No, I'm getting mixed up. That was Scotland's. Like, remember they voted to remain, and then a wet week later, Brexit happened.
Yeah.
And
so yeah, the North are affected by Brexit as well.
Yeah, because
well, the 6 counties in the North.
So it's kind of a case of nobody really wants the North. That Britain, it's costing them, and like Ireland were saying, "Oh, is there room for it in our budget?" And remember, you said on RTE, one of the economists said 10 billion for 2 million people.
Mm-hmm.
But he says in Ireland we've sick. It worked out basically cheaper
Yeah.
than what we're running our own country for.
Yeah.
He said, whereas if you throw out the number 10 billion, you're like,
Fuck.
that's astronomical.
But-
Can't do that.
But people were saying, even like when you think about it, they said like our population hasn't gotten back to the levels it was at before the famine. So they
Yeah.
said, adding the 6 counties into it actually isn't going to raise it anymore. Than we had more people before the famine
Yeah.
than we did now, and even if we added those 6 counties, we still wouldn't have the same amount.
But I remember when I was in America, they said, I think the population of Ireland was 6 million people,
Mm-hmm.
but there was 78 million Irish passports in the world.
Yeah.
Goddamn foreigners. But I mean the irony.
Yeah. Such irony. Or like that, like I always look at it in a way as people are like, oh, fucking Britain and blah blah blah, and then like go to London because like
To get away from it all.
to get away from it all. But then also like that, if people say, oh, if you're creative or whatever, you have to leave Ireland, you can't stay. It doesn't like continue on your whatever. I'm like, well, these are all, everyone's proud Irish until they're living in London.
Or
You know what I
they
mean?
become more proud when they go abroad.
Yeah, which I can understand as well. But like, I'm also like, anyway, that's beside the point. Paddy show. So yeah, like it was really, and then he came up. Yeah, so Ireland would be called Hibernia. So it's the old.
Oh, and that,
name
yeah,
for-
sorry, the new national anthem. He says, everyone says Ireland differently. Like I say Ireland, what do you say?
Ireland.
Ireland, yes, similar.
One of my friends says Ireland.
Ireland, but yeah, and especially with all the variations up north,
Yeah.
it'd be quite a complex thing.
Mm.
He said, but everyone can agree, and in the same way, Hibernia.
Yeah.
And also, he said about national anthems, they're also aggressive and they're all about war.
Mhm.
And he mentioned Ireland's Call,
Mm-hmm.
but he said that's
So Ireland's called. Everyone sings the national anthem at different sporting events, but for rugby,
we are
we
unified.
weren't allowed.
Well, no, they wouldn't.
They wouldn't let us sing Aaron Levine. That's why
Well,
they had to come up with
no,
Ireland's
but
Call.
yeah, but it's because the Irish rugby team is united, North and South, North and Republic.
Okay.
So they couldn't
Yeah.
sing the Northern Irish
Yeah.
anthem and the Republic of Ireland anthem. So they came up with Ireland's Call.
Mm-hmm.
But even he said, who was it, Peter Stringer?
Yeah.
He said shoulder to shoulder. But answer Ireland's Call. But he said even that has combative lyrics and it's all about winning and defeating your enemy.
And like that, we're like a neutral country
Yeah,
as well.
yeah,
So
yeah.
we're talking about like
We're
a
supposed
call
to be.
to arms and a call to, and we're like, we're actually
Yeah.
neutral.
But like Sinn Féin, well, they changed it, didn't they? So it used to be Sinn Féin Fáil, but Féinian became like a derogatory term for an Irish person. So they changed it to Sinn Féin Fáil, but nobody sings that, which is we are the heroes of Ireland.
I didn't know that. Louis knows a lot.
So then, yeah, Paddy said, use
the old name for Ireland is Hibernia.
which goes back to ancient maps.
Mm-hmm.
When Ireland was Hibernian insurance. It's really good. New national anthem
And I liked it.
for Hibernia.
Yeah.
And he did have an Irish verse as well.
He did.
Okay.
And I like that. And was it music that his father put together?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
His
yeah.
dad was a composer.
Yeah, his father was a composer. So he used some of his father's old composition. He used an old composition that his father made.
Yeah.
And then wrote the lyrics himself. So yeah, like we said, Paddy is a very accomplished musician.
Yeah.
And yeah, so we've got new national anthem. And he said, seems as we are so obsessed with the royal family, that we should have our own royal family.
Yes.
And then he dispelled the myth of, oh no, he also talked about rejoining the Commonwealth.
Mm-hmm.
And he said everyone's opposed to rejoining the Commonwealth.
Mm-hmm.
He says even though and it's because of the monarchy.
Mm-hmm.
He says even though there's more countries in the EU that have a monarchy,
Mm-hmm.
then there is countries in the Commonwealth that have a monarchy.
Yeah. But didn't we say as well there's countries in the Commonwealth, though, that are under their own rule?
Yeah,
That they said...
no, they keep not decommissioning. What's the word? Because Barbados was the latest one.
Yeah, free by Rihanna.
Yeah, literally. That they handed back.
Mm. But it's still part of the Commonwealth, isn't it? Isn't that what you said? They're not. Like, they make their own decisions, their own country.
Independent.
Yeah, they're independent, but they're still part of the Commonwealth.
Yeah.
He made very good cases for a lot of stuff.
Yeah. But as well, like, I'm sure he said he's not. He just wants the conversations to happen.
Yeah. And like that, I think as well, he's come, and I know he's probably thinking as well, like, oh, sure, this isn't going to happen, or this might not happen. Who knows? But, like, I suppose if you go with a fully formed plan, rather than just going, let's just start a conversation, go with a fully formed plan, like, these things might go, oh, that actually is a good idea.
Like how our YouTube channel, like how this is a better version of what we've been putting out. Because we've put a plan together.
Yeah.
We are a united Ireland. Erin the bra.
Yeah.
So then he said, we'll have a royal family.
Yeah.
Like you said, we chastised the monarchy, but we had so many monarchs in this country. We had
Irish.
kings, high kings.
Mm-hmm.
We'd one, a very, very, very prominent one locally, Hugh McCool.
Yeah.
From Ballyfin.
Yeah.
Proud Leash man, you up Leash.
You up Leash, up riding.
Then we had High Kings of Ireland. One of them is actually responsible for copyright.
Oh.
That's an Irish thing. 2 High Kings met and one had a really nice book, and then the other one copied the book. He got his servants to do it overnight, and he was like, "This is look at this book." He was like, "That's my book." He's like, "No, I got the boys to copy it last night." War.
Yeah.
Thousands of people died. And then that's the origin of where the copyright law came from. To every calf belongs to its mother.
Yeah. But yeah, so we are a country that was.
Oh, and then Strongbow, the Viking came and he married Anya in Kilkenny on the battlefield.
Mm-hmm.
And they said at the start of the service her dress was white, but by the end of it it was red, soaked up all the blood.
All the blood.
The blood. Blood them.
But yeah, so like that, it's, I suppose, High King sounds a bit more magical than King. Yeah. But then also people are disgruntled as well, obviously, because the British came over and kind of took the land, you know. Yeah. So it's,
well, we had so Irish for King is Ree, and then we had the Bannery as well, which would be the Woman King.
Yeah.
There's a few women kings as well.
Yep, the women kings.
The lady kings.
Yeah, love that.
On a scale of any exhibition at the Photo Museum of Ireland to the Book of Mormon, where would you go? I'm
going to give the show, what's the show called? I Can't Believe It's Not Ireland, by Paddy. I'm going to give it a 7. 7,
I'd give it an 8.
Okay. I think I'd give it a 7 because as we're talking about it, I'm like, oh, I can't remember lots of it. Not that it's not memorable. It's just, it was a lot of information. I suppose I wasn't expecting that. So,
really?
Yeah, I wasn't expecting it to be so full on.
History.
Yeah. Not that, like, I knew there would be history and stuff like that. But, yeah, it kind of really took me by surprise. I was like, oh! So I feel like I wasn't educated enough to have seen it.
But I think it's a good to get people involved.
Yeah, it was really good. Yeah, got people involved. The laugh.
No, but I mean, it makes you curious.
Well, now see, I want to go and look up stuff, and I want to go to more Paddy shows, and I actually want to go in and look at, like, you know, read a few books and stuff, and you know, it's actually made me go, oh, that's it, they're igniting some in me now. That especially because it wasn't a real, we want our 6 counties back. You know, it was very thoroughly thought through, and it made me.
It just. Put all
different perspective as well.
It wasn't emotional.
Yes, and a very different perspective.
Very thought through.
Very different perspective from what usually is what's put out there when they're talking about amalgamating the two. So yeah, let's give it a 7.
Yeah.
Tell us about your review.
Like I said, I give it an 8. I thought it was very, very good, very entertaining. So much information. At times, like it was like I said, you had to be engaged.
Yeah.
You had to pay attention and keep
Yeah.
up with everything.
Yeah.
And then, I really enjoyed the second half of it as well. We're like, we're going to resolve all the issues that we might have, what concerns that people would have. Yeah, and it was very optimistic as well, which is
really
not an Irish thing.
No,
Optimism.
So
pessimistic.
Downtrodden.
Yeah, we love misery.
Israel. Yeah.
Do you say we love being Israel?
No, we love being miserable. But it's like miserable.
Miserable. Yeah. Would you recommend?
Oh, I recommend, and as well as that, I would also recommend. Like now, I'd be like, oh my god, I would go to any of Paddy's shows.
Yeah,
because it's so interesting. Because Louis went to last one, said it was brilliant, and then like this is the only one I've gotten to see, and I'm like, oh, I actually would be on the lookout now for any of his other shows, especially if you're a history buff or if you're like kind of just interested or want to know about like Ireland and stuff, like, because he does give good backstories.
Yeah, like very well researched, very thoroughly researched.
Yeah.
And so Paddy has 4 plays on the go. I can't believe it's not Ireland. Death of Michael Collins, Death of Wolf Tone, and I think The Year in the French.
Yeah.
But they're all going on at the same time.
Yeah.
So paddycullivan.com, you'll find somewhere close to you that one of them will be playing. I would highly recommend all of them. I went to see The Death of Michael Collins, and I think Wolf Tone is the one that's that EP.
Okay, brilliant. I want to see that one.
Yeah.
If you want to see Paddy on the show, let us know. We can make that happen.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So, Erin Singleton, I think, is there any stone left unturned?
No, the only one left unturned is my lunch.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm starving. We're gonna have potato cakes. Very Irish.
Because we'd leftover mashed potato from last night.
Oh god, you're embarrassing.
To who?
Me.
Okay.
So
do you want to do the outro?
Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, please give us a like, subscribe, share.
We're at 795 subscribers.
Woohoo!
Need to get to the magic number 1,000 by December.
Yeah.
That's the goal. So if you could hit that subscribe button, it'd really mean the world to me.
Yeah, exactly. And
every little helps.
If you want us to review something, because we're doing films, we're doing concerts, we're doing anything, plays, anything kind of cultural. So
yeah,
if you want us to watch something, listen to something, and do a review, let us know in the comments, and we will give it a watch, because we love watching movies and we love watching
love
all sorts of stuff, and we love recommendations. Anything really, because we don't mind watching anything. Well,
yeah, because next up is Toxic Avenger.
The Toxic Avenger. That was a funny one.
That was.
Yeah. So, even in the more bizarre, the better. Foreign films, everything. Like, we will watch, I will listen to any sort of music. We will go to any sort of thing. So, yeah, we just want recommendations to be a bit more cultured.
Yeah, rounded. Yeah, maybe list stuff that we wouldn't traditionally.
Yeah, or if there's any experiences we need to go and do. Either, like, we're also open to going and doing things for a day, or if you know any good museums or art galleries, anything like that.
Yeah, exhibition openings. Yeah, definitely.
We are also putting it in there. We are going to Berlin in June, so if anyone has any Berlin recommendations, also throw them out there, because we'd love to know. Yeah, and Calvin, I can't wait to see Outer Heavens. The trailer looks really good. Like I said before, very David Lynchian-esque.